Good morning. Good morning. This is Miss Princess with Unscripted, and I'm just enjoying the music today on this amazing Saturday. Let me turn this off before I totally mess up what I want to talk to you about just by, doing my little groove thing. And I'm not much of a good groover, so let me go ahead and turn the music off. Well, I hope you all are doing amazing on this Saturday. It is July the 9th, according to my Apple Watch here. And today I actually wanted to come to you and talk to you and give you kind of the behind the scenes vision of how we got started with Uncensored Call to Action. So for the last couple of days since Wednesday, I've been talking about this initiative called Uncensored Call to Action. And I kind of want to let you give more information as to what it is. Cause I'm throwing these words out. I'm throwing these words out. You're probably like, well, Princess, what are you talking about? So by the way, as we go on throughout the little quick program, I'm not going to be here all morning because I got things to do just like you. You got to get out there, do some shopping, get out there, get ready for your Sunday dinner. Well, that may no longer be the case. But hey, first of all, I want to thank whoever is coming out here saying thank you for sharing. Thank you for joining us this morning. But like I said, today I want to talk about the vision behind uncensored call for action. So let me see if I can bring these slides up. This is the first time I use this platform for slides, so I'm really excited about that. So many of you are aware that recently, not many of you, you all are aware of the recent mass shootings that has been happening here in our country. And this started off, I have to be honest, this started off with the Buffalo shootings in a couple of months ago. And one of the things that really burdened my heart was that it crushed me. It's like, I can't believe it. And so you will hear a lot of things about Buffalo, hashtag Buffalo Strong. And not only that, no sooner than we're trying to process what really just happened, that another heinous thing happened at Uvalde with those babies. Hashtag Uvalde Strong. And like you might be like me going, are you kidding? What's next? Next time, or at least next time, maybe next week sometime, I'm going to actually bring you some statistics as to what they are reporting of mass shootings in the U.S. only in 2022. And you can see that there is definitely a call to action that you and I need to be a part of. We're not going to be able to solve the problem by ourselves, but we can make a difference in our community for the positive. Now, what is all of this hashtag uncensored, hashtag, hashtag choose love? What are we really trying to do? So let me kind of break some of that down. What we did was, no, let me kind of give you a background story. There was one morning I was sitting and I got up in the morning and I'm like, Lord, I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm just little old me. What is it that I can even possibly do? And one of the things that was impressed upon my heart was that you could probably put something together. I'm like, I can't do nothing. So I just began to write some things down. But then by the time I finished that morning, I looked at the list that I had prepared. And I'll be honest with you, I just put it to the side. I'm like, no, that's just way too much and too big for me. That night, as I was getting prepared for bed, because I had dismissed it in the morning, but that night, as I prepared for bed, I got a text message that, hey, what do you think about us doing a video that we did, like similar to what we did before? And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And then I did not get another message from someone else say, hey, sis, I want to talk to you about doing something to address some of the mass shootings that's occurring here in our nation. And I thought it was interesting. I called the person up, this other person up, and I began to say, I gotta be honest with you, I am not interested in just doing a video segment and so that we can feel good that we accomplished something. What I would like to do is something where we can actually develop courses of actions, not just anything, but strategic courses of actions where we be able to really track them, articulate them to the community, and be accountable and report back to the results of that. So that's where Call for Action Uncensored kind of came out of. And on Saturday, June the 4th, we did a kickoff video. You can probably go into wherever you're looking at this at, look in there on the videos for June, June the 4th, and you will see Miss Charvita Mariner. She brought some amazing people together just to kind of kick off. And then we've been running ever since June the 25th. Now, I'm going to tell you some other stuff that's going to be coming up, but let me get back to some of the other things real quick here. What is the mission? I'm going to kind of just read this off. It really is to host benefit events, but really to host events that's going to celebrate the strength of our people. Now, first of all, this is actually before Uvalde happened. This is between the Buffalo and Uvalde when we developed this. And I'm going to talk to you how we have transformed this and expand this out. But we wanted to celebrate the strength of our people, provide hope and encouragement, give voice to our grief, And that's a key to some of our focus points, and to support our brothers and sisters with prayer and monies for healing and restorations. We didn't want to just put action be there. We want to also support them with prayer, because we know that prayer still works. And we also want to support them with funds to help them do the restoration points. So who are we? Is it just you, Princess? No, it is going to be a collective community of people from across the U.S. I'm reaching out to people on the West Coast, from the North, the South border. So if you know someone in these USAID that want to be involved, this does not matter where they live. There is a role for them. So let's get on to here. Let's get on to why we're doing this again. Now, some of you may have seen that we did a video before, but here we are again. Why are we doing this again? Here's the bottom line. And I'm going to read this because this is what was on my heart that morning that the Lord first kind of gave me a peek as to what this looked like. He didn't give me the whole thing, because had he gave me the whole thing for real, this would not be happening, because this is way too big. But I thank God for the people he are connecting me with. They are some amazing people. I'll talk about them a little bit later. But we are sickening by the recent mass terrorist murders targeted against our Black brothers and sisters in Buffalo, New York. Now, remember, this was all thought out and planned right before Uvalde, between the Buffalo, New York, and the Uvalde, Texas. And then I'm going to show you how that expanded since there. Though we have made many progressive strides, the advancement for the Black America, we still find ourselves confronted in the crosshairs of hate with white supremacy ideologies, as evident in the recent terrorist attack against us. An attack against one of us is an attack against us all. Hey, that's the bottom line. That is what is the catalyst of what all we are doing today. That is the catalyst of the programs and the initiatives that we are putting into place. Now, Uvalde came and it kind of knocked us out, and we had to begin to incorporate that, because those babies hit so many of us. They said, Princess, I got it. But when I saw those 19 babies and those 2 teachers, it just set some people back. And we're going to talk about how we went after those people. Now, how are we going to do this? Let's be honest. How are we going to do this? When I start showing you our 7 focus point, you would ask that same question. Well, how are you going to do this? But one thing is that we want to use every available space to us and every form of technology to bring people together. Now, Friday, July the 15th. Every Friday we've been having, except for last Friday, or except for yesterday, we've been having what we call the call to action team meetings. And the call to action team meetings, they focus on one of the focus points. So yesterday was focused on really have mental health and mental and emotional health. We have a call to action team that is focused on youth empowerment. We have a call to action team that is focused on feeding Buffalo. But I'm a little ahead of that. So our next time that we're going to have a call to action team meeting is going to be on Friday, July the 15th. 2022, and it says 10 o'clock, but actually it's 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock. That is error right there. So it's 9 o'clock. So if you're interested, it's a Zoom call. We're not asking you to go anywhere. We ask you just to get up in the morning, if you're able to, and get onto the Zoom call, share ridiculous ideas on for that particular team. And if you're interested, put in the chat, hashtag uncensored. So I can get you the Zoom information on how you can be a part of a call to action team. So you say, Miss Princess, 9 a.m. on Friday does not work for me because I am working for the man. Let me know what's a good time for you, and we can act. We haven't got all our action team together, and we can start depending on your action team that you want to be a part of. We can actually look at what available times we have. But let me keep going on there. So we're doing this virtually and in person in reference to some of our initiative, or what I call our focal points. So let me get into our focal points, because this is the meat of what uncensored call to actions is. There are 7 call to action. There are 7 focus points. There are 7 initiatives. The first one is State of America and legislation. What does that mean? We as a community need to understand the state of America, and we also need to understand the legislations that is being centered around guns, or gun reform, or sensible gun laws, not only on a federal level, but also on the individual state level. So what does that mean for you and I in terms of call to action? We also want to be able to see where are the gaps. Now, if I have any military folks out there going to understand this, we also want to be able to understand what our gaps or capability gaps, so that we know how to begin to approach legislation or approach our senators, our delegates, our representatives on the different levels, and help them say, this is our ideas, and spell them out. And then to be able to hold them accountable, and then to also mobilize people not only to register to vote, but also to the polls. So that's kind of what we're centered around that. And how are we going to do that? Now, one of the things I always tell people, you can have a table, you can register all these people to vote. And then I will ask somebody, well, how many people you actually register to vote? Well, we don't have those figures. Okay, so then after they register to vote, what follow-up did you have with them? Well, because your end game was only to get people registered. Our end game cannot just be to get people to register to vote. Our end game has to be to get the right people into the right position to protect our communities, to protect our churches, to protect our schools, to protect our grocery stores. I'm going to leave it like that. So that's kind of the idea around the State of America legislation. The next one is mental and emotional health. So while we were looking at that, we understand that whether you recognize it or not, the mental health and emotional health, we are all impacted about what is going on. What do I mean by that? One morning I woke up and my pillow was a little wet, and it wasn't because I was going through any kind of hot flashes throughout the night. It was because throughout the night, because it was what was happening was so grievous to me that my soul was crying. Even in my sleep, I was so burdened and didn't even realize it. And so there is an impact on this, but sometimes we have come to a place where we may get on a video like this, and we get all nice and quiet, and what we really want to do is scream. What we really want to do is say, I'm angry. I'm angry about this, or I'm grieving, or I'm hurting. And we internalize, we just kind of push it down and just hold it there. And then that is not good. That's not good on us emotionally, and that's definitely not good on us mentally. But not only us as adults, but can you imagine what the impact it is on children? Even though they may not say anything, they may not, just like us, know how to articulate our emotions. So we are developing programs and events to help people express themselves uncensored, and also to be able to bridge the gap between people who are affected by what's going on in our country in reference to the mass shootings and the mass murders, until they can get some professional help. We're not discarding, don't go to therapy. No, we're not discarding that. But we also understand that there are some challenges with getting appointments with professional counselors. So we want to also help navigate through that, and also get the right people to the right places. So that's kind of the thought around mental and emotional health. We are looking at developing segments for adults and also for children, young folks. So that's one thing. So if you're interested in the mental health piece or the State of America, put into the chat right now, hashtag Uncensored, and you can say State of America, or you can say mental, emotional health, whatever you're interested in, and I will get in contact with you. Even if you're watching this on replay, the next one, which I am just totally elated about, is the youth empowerment. The youth empowerment. And this one was at one time, if you've seen this presentation before, it was called Communicating with Our Children. And we changed it to youth empowerment because we kind of put communicating with our children under the mental and emotional health. But now we wanted to have a separate session that deal and allow youth to express themselves, that they will be empowered. What can they do to hear from them, but that they can say, hey, I'm frustrated about this. Because here's the bottom line. Here is the bottom line up front. I'm going to tell you this right now, is that their tomorrow, we got to prepare for it today. Their tomorrow, we got to prepare for it today. And it can't just be us in our little isolated over 50, over 40, over 60 mentality. We need them to be a part of that. We need them to take the lead on helping shaping some things. I often tell people, if I had the answer to solve all of these problems at this age, I would have already implemented them. So I know I don't have all the answers, and neither do you, but together and with our youth, they see things that we cannot see. They are the ones, the last major 3 shootings was done by young people under 21 and under. So we really got to empower them, give them a voice, hear what's going on, help shape them, but not preach to them to the point that they can't even hear us. And then in 10 years down the road, we're confronted with something even more heinous than what we've been witnessing today. So we can be a part of that. Our next focus point, or you can call it initiative, or you can call it call to action group, is the church. We have to mobilize our churches. Hey, I'm telling you, I am always in for a good church service. I got the heels, the worn out heels to prove it in my closet. Amen. But we also got to mobilize the church outside of the building. I know we all want to gravitate to pre-COVID and get back into the building, but our community is ever so calling the people of God outside of the community. So we want to even help them through the process and see what kind of things they can implement to help deal with the mass shooting, to help their congregants with all of this in terms of these mass shootings that's happening. We're hearing about mass shootings in churches. So, hey, what security is going on there? What are you doing? How are you educating the people? How are you motivating people? What things can the church do to help in this situation? Well, I'll start preaching now because can I tell you something? And I'm going to go on to the next one before I get too far. The answer is in the church, and we got to get out of the church into the community. And the answer is Jesus Christ. Another topic, don't get me started on evangelism and outreach. I'm going to move on before I get too excited. The next focus point, so to speak, or the next area of concentration, or the next initiative is called Feeding Buffalo. Feeding Buffalo. Now, what you may or may not know is that Buffalo, New York is a food desert. It had that Tops in that community. And as a result of this mass shooting, the Tops was closed down. And a lot of people from outside of the community of Buffalo was bringing up food to help bridge the gap, so to speak. And they were also busing people to different communities to help, again, to bridge the gap. Now, as people start to die down, as events starts to die down, what we wanted to do was to wait a little bit and then take a truckload of food, send a truckload of food to that community to continue to let them know that they have not been forgotten. We are still there for them as a nation. We are praying with them, and we are moving our prayers through wings on a truck to bring them food that is going to be nourishment for their body, good, healthy food for that. And as a matter of fact, if you got any time today at 10 o'clock, wherever you're watching this video, come back because Miss Jarvita Mariner is going to bring a group of people together and talk more extensively how you can be directly involved with feeding buffalo. Hey, fill the truck. Hashtag fill the truck. Again, if you're interested in any of these things I've talked about so far, put in the comments below. Hey, Princess, send me some information. by putting hashtag uncensored in the comments. Okay, I've got 2 more left, and then I'm going to get out of your way to give you your day because I'm going to see you again at 10 o'clock this morning to talk about feeding buffalo. Staying safe. Staying safe. Now, I shared with someone. Let's tell them that every once in a while I'm in a certain environments outside of my home, and I find myself probably every once in a while kind of looking over my shoulders unconsciously because I sometimes feel insecure and a little nervous. How do I stay safe? How do I even begin to feel safe in certain areas? Now, here's the interesting things that there was talks a long time ago where we all should arm ourselves and buy guns. I'm going to tell you something. I'm not saying that's the wrong way or right way. This is just Miss Prince's thought, unscripted. If we all got guns and we're shooting at each other, no one's going to be standing at the end of the day. So we want to be able to look at this particular call to action, this particular initiative, and develop ways of how you can stay safe. How can we stay safe? How can our children stay safe in schools? Are there things that we can do to help harden the school building, the foundation, to prevent certain like people coming in? Are there security measures that we can have in our communities? Are there things? And you know what? This will be the day when you have to have bars or certain kind of security bars to walk into a supermarket. But I don't know the answer. I really don't. So I need your ideas of how we can stay safe as a community. We're not going to root out all evil. We're not, that's, I'm going to go back to the church. That's another thing. We're just figuring out what can I do to stay safe? What can I do to help my children stay safe? What kind of practices? And that's where we may have to pull in our law enforcement agencies to be able to give us some tips on how to notice something that is suspicious, whether we're surfing online and teaching our children. If you see little Johnny writing certain things, you need to report it. If you don't feel comfortable, report it. Tell your mom or your dad or a safe person. But that's another topic. We got to shape that conversation. And then our last focus point is what's next? Folks, let me tell you something. We are really good at starting something, doing one program, patting ourselves on the back, going back to norm. We can't do that. What is part of the what's next of how do we move on is to be able to structure something that is going to be consistent, not just for today and not just for tomorrow, but that's going to be perpetually going on until we have a handle, at least in our community, as small as may be, until we see an end result. And that may be even past my lifetime, but we got to be able to define what we see as much as possible, as much as we can see. What does the end result looks like? Now I know there's no guns in the U.S. That's let's be honest. We have a second amendment for that. So let's be realistic on some of those things. But I need for you to be a part of help shaping that right there. So if you want to be a part of any of these initiative focus points, call to action groups, go ahead and put it in the chat. Hashtag uncensored. And I will get you some information on how to get plugged in to one of our action teams. If I'm not mistaken, that is that's not my last slide. I got 3 more slides. Okay, so right now we have a 1-page letter. So if you're interested to getting this 1-page letter, say, Miss Princess, I want to get a copy of that 1-page letter that explains a lot of what I just went over. Go ahead and put in the comments, hashtag uncensored letter. And then we'll get that letter out to you. The other thing is, I talked about this briefly about feeding buffalo at 10 o'clock Saturday, today, July the 9th, right where you're watching this video. We're going to have another live streaming video with Miss Charita Mariner and some of the people that she's collaborating to feed buffalo. But you can give a tax deductible giving, and they're gonna tell you how you can be involved with even helping to fill the truck. They're gonna tell you how to be involved if you're in the Buffalo area. So come back this morning in a couple of hours. Yep, in a couple of hours, right here at 10 o'clock to get more information about buffalo, about feeding buffalo. Now, here's my thing. If you have any questions, this is a great time to put them in the chat. If you have any questions whatsoever, this is an amazing time to go ahead and put those questions into the chat. I probably was a little bit longer than I wanted to be today. I don't see my little clock here, but I wanted to thank you so much for your patience. I want to thank you so much for watching this. And again, hashtag uncensored, put it in the comments. I will reach out to you and let you know how you can get involved in any of these focus points, because together we can do this. I'm convinced of it. I'm convinced of it. I'm telling you, continue to pray. I'm telling you, continue to lift up the name of the Lord. I'm telling you, it's hopeless. I'm telling you, we, the believers of the Lord Jesus Christ, we have the answer, which is salvation through Jesus Christ. Yes, I'm telling you, we have it, and we need to mobilize that and get that out to all the let me use the old term, the highway, the hedges and the highways and the byways. We have to go out and compel them. Ah, my goodness. Another day, another sermon. But I'm going to go ahead and get off here. I'm going to turn a little music back on a little bit just to get my groove on as I get ready to say goodbye to you. You guys have the most amazing day. And whatever you do, live a purpose-driven life and do it on purpose in Jesus' name. You know what? I'm going to end this today with Jeremiah 29:11 says, for this is what God says, for I know the thoughts that I have towards you, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give me an expected end. And that end is not mass shootings. Thank you, Lord. You have an amazing day. God bless you.